seriously examine why, after 73 years since independence, the vast majority of us are still poor and hungry. We can blame the greed of the rich, rampant corruption of those who hold power, poor planning, and the lack of political will to root out evils both economic and social. This blame game will not save us. We must act. That brings me back to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Iron Man of India, who fought against the British Raj to save the farmers of Gujarat in the Bardoli Satyagraha of June 1928. After the success of the Satyagraha, the women of Bardoli gave him the title Sardar, which means leader, and Sardar became a leader of great status in the freedom struggle. We have honored him by building the tallest statue in the whole world for him. We must also follow his footsteps to build the nation. Who should take the lead? It's not merely the top leadership that need to act. We must act from the grassroots level. I must begin the nation building with myself first, and then with my family, and then my neighborhood and beyond. So today, each of us must start setting our minds right in the path of ahimsa and satyagraha, dear to Gandhiji and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and to all the great leaders of our nation. Yes, I must begin first by cleaning my heart of all hatred and selfishness. Then I must clean my room, my house, my immediate neighborhood, my environment, and move beyond. Dear friends, as we now look forward to hearing the chief speakers of the day, Dr. Latha Nair, Dr. Priyatharsini Rajendran, and Dr. Christopher Abraham, I now inaugurate the webinar on National Unity Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Father, for delivering such an inspiring talk. Your words are a great source of encouragement to all of us, and we will definitely work towards to uphold the principles and walk the path set forth by our great eminent leaders. It was a great pleasure to have you amongst us on this memorable day. Once again, I thank you, Father Justice Paul.
Thank you. God bless you.
Now I request Prabhu Prakash to take over from me and take the proceedings further into the day. Over to you, Prakash.
Thank you, Shikhar. Good morning, one and all. He who experiences the unity of life sees his own self in all beings and all beings in his own self, and looks on everything with an impartial eye, said Buddha. Keeping in our mind the above saying of Buddha, I, Prabhu Prakash, student of BS second year, extend a warm welcome to all who are present on this platform to listen to the views and ideas of experts on the occasion of National Unity Day. We are honored to have Dr. Latha Nair Madam with us today, and I consider it a great privilege to welcome and introduce Dr. Nair Madam to our gathering. Dr. Latha Nair Madam hails from Kerala and is currently working as an associate professor in the Department of English and Center for Research at St. Teresa's College, Kochi. Dr. Nair was appointed as the director of the Goon Center in India after she undertook a training program at the State Kansas University, US in June 2014. She is also the course coordinator and director of the UGC Innovative Program, BSc in Apparel and Fashion Designing. It was under her initiative that the Department of English at St. Teresa's College became a research center in 2007. Dr. Nair has been responsible in fostering linkages with many national and international universities. She has collaborated with London Metropolitan University, the Richmond University, the American International University UK, the State Kansas University US, and Deccan University Australia for facilitating research initiatives. She was able to establish the Goon Center for Science Fiction Studies, which is affiliated to the State Kansas University, to promote creative writing and science fiction writing in India. She is closely associated with Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, Amrita School of Social Sciences, Kerala, Bharati Dasan University, Trichy, Karunya University, Coimbatore, Sri Sankara University, Kerala, the University of Kerala, and the University of Calicut. A postgraduate in English with first class from the University of Kerala, Dr. Nair continued her studies in Mahatma Gandhi University, from where she secured her PhD in English language and literature in the year 2000. She has been teaching at St. Teresa's College since 1990, and in 2005, she joined London Metropolitan University, UK, to pursue her second MA in International English Language Teaching and Applied Language Studies. She has also qualified CELTA Cambridge in the year 2006 from UK. In the year 2014, Dr. Nair attended the training program for teaching science fiction and creative writing at the Intensive Institute on SF Literature, State Kansas University. Dr. Nair has written many articles in various research journals, a few chapters in various compilation volumes. She has written many books which have been prescribed for Calicut and Kerala universities. Her books, mainly English for Media 2014, Writing for Media 2012, focus on the use of English in print, visual and digital media. She has written many popular articles in various dailies. She has traveled extensively and lectured at several universities in the country as well as abroad. Her area of interests are science fiction, promoting sustainable education in villages, literacy, integrated humanism. The research project was on emotional content in democratic policing, which focuses on enhancing the emotional and social intelligence of the police officers that would bring sustainable transformation in community policing. Dr. Latha Madam has so many achievements to her credit that if I go on mentioning, the whole day will be less. So, without taking so much of your time, I, Prabhu Prakash, once again extend a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Latha Nair Ma'am and to take over this session. At the same time, I would request the participants and the listeners to post their queries in comment box so that we may forward it to the experts to answer it to them. It's over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Prakash ji, for that introduction. And I just don't know whether I'm worthy of all that. Thank you so much for making me very special. And I take this opportunity to greet Father Justice Paul, who made a very, very apt beginning about speaking about the national integration. Especially, he highlighted and integrated into it the concerns and reflections with me for some time after the free virus has started or is set off like a chemical reaction on a landscape, or maybe academic landscape would be better. So I just offer you my thoughts. Maybe this will trigger some very explosive thoughts, but that is what we should be doing as academicians. So I just, with all humility and my prayers, I begin my session, and I hope and pray that this would definitely, at least some of you would think about this, and let us all join together on this day of national integration, work for our nation selflessly with commitment and unconditional love. So I have put together a small presentation for you. I hope that will also be keeping you occupied, and you will be able to focus on your thoughts as I start my lecture. Thank you. I hope.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is seen here.
Is that visible? Yes?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry about that. So let me take you on this journey. That is, I have titled my talk for the day as Vande Mataram, and I know all of us feel lucky that we are living in one of the largest democratic nations of the world. And what are the things, that is, we are speaking today about national integration and the theme of nationalism. So I thought, let me begin this in a different way. Let me take you back to my childhood, where the family was situated right in the freedom movement. My two grandfathers were freedom fighters. One belonged to the Congress and the other was a communist. And there was a lot of discussions that I have as a child witnessed to, but it didn't make any sense at that time. And we are the boom children, my generation that is born after 1960, you are the boom children. So I still remember this particular lines that were sung by my uncles and aunts, and also by my father, who was never a singer, but he used to hum these two lines whenever he came back home from his busy schedule. And actually, I never had a clue as to where this came from or what it was. And you never think about from where does this theme of nationalism come from. So that is how we begin. And and that is why I thought this was the right premise to begin this session. So these are the two lines. आज हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमने ललकारा है, दूर हटो ए दुनिया वालों, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. From the top of Himalayas, we have again challenged, keep away foreigners, India is our land. I never realized till of late that these two lines, which I sang with my uncles, or which I heard my father singing, or...
sorry, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry. Your screen is not full screen, actually, that presentation.
Is that okay now?
Is it, ma'am, a PDF file or it's a PowerPoint?
It is, no. It is not a PDF file.
Okay. Actually, it must show full screen, actually. It is not... can you try again, stop sharing and again start sharing?
Okay, sir.
Choose the very first option, desktop.
Open share tray, yeah?
Yeah, desktop.
Yes. Is that okay? Screen one, isn't it? Or one day?
Yes.
Screen one.
Right, ma'am, right.
unfortunately. Is that fine now? Is that fine now? Dilipji, is it fine now?
Sorry, ma'am. Dilip, I don't know where he's gone. It's still back to the same condition.
Ma'am, shall I share from my side?
I think that will be better so that I don't get distracted. If I lose this continuity, I won't be able to. Yeah.
Okay. You just stop sharing. I will share it.
I'll do this. Stop sharing. Yeah.
Is it visible from my side?
I think so. Yeah. Fine.
Ritika, ma'am?
Yeah.
Father?
Now it's okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is full screen. Please go ahead.
Full screen now.
Screen.
You
Go
can
back
hide.
to
Yeah. Sure. So we go on to the second slide, sir. I think as I move, you would be able to, yeah. So coming back to can I start now?
Yes, ma'am.
So coming back to the story, so this was a song that, which was a part of my childhood. And when when I did a little bit of research, I found out that this belonged to the movie Kismet, which was released before independence in 1943. And one of the first rousing nationalist lyrics to come out of Bollywood context. And the context it was at the Bombay Talkies that Gyan Mukherjee was directing a movie Kismet in 1942. And this movie was also almost complete around the time Mahatma Gandhi gave a call for Quit India movement. And news of Gandhi and other leaders, including, all the 9 Ratnas of India at that point of time, were being imprisoned, and he forced his lyric writer called Pradeep to write a song to call English to quit India so that it could be used in that particular movie. Sridhar Mukherjee was known for his relentless ways, and it is exactly this that is mentioned by film historian Prempal, who notes that Pradeep was in a confused state of mind and asked Mukherjee that how could he put a patriotic revolutionary song in a movie which is about a pickpocket and his love life. But Sridharji was adamant, and hence Pradeep wrote these lyrics of that immortal song, Aaj Himalay ki choti se fir humne lalkara hai. From the top of Himalaya, we have again challenged. So this theme of nationalism, when you look at the theme of nationalism, I'm very happy that Father Justice Paul has introduced. I was a little apprehensive. How am I going to begin this theme of nationalism today? I wouldn't say a new ecology is emerging. When you analyze this theme of resurgence of nationalism, of course, we accept that there is a lot of convergence that has been happening in our daily life with the rise of technology, media, industry, popular personal computing, and the rapid extension of concrete media forms. And when you look at democracy, we are proud to say that we have a democracy. We have the largest democracy in the world. We have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And democracy has always been considered a goal which is a long way off, ever since the onset of differentiated economy and stratified society. And throughout history, we took oligarchy for democracy and always believed that the bourgeoisie democracy could be transformed into real democracy through constitutional reforms. And one liberal political scientist whom I admire the most even contemplated the globalization of Western liberal democracy and the subsequent end of history in quotation mark as imminent. And this particular, I would recommend all of you to read this particular political scientist. He was very famous at the time when I was doing research, that is in 1990-92, Fukuyama. And you couldn't get a copy. It was when I still remember when we went to Seafeld, you had to wait for weeks together to get a photocopy of this particular book, and to get hold of him, to get at least to see what exactly he means. And expectedly, a total rebuttal of the end of history thesis came with reference to the awakening of history under the revolutionary forces of people. That has been happening whenever there is a rupture in our intellectual thought, whenever the socio-economic or political strategies become very fundamentalistic, there is a rupture that happens, and people, the revolutionary force of people, will definitely come together. And this is cited by Badiou in 2012. I'm not going to give you the theoretical framework, but let me tell you, there were prophetic writers who looked at the situation, who have had the experience of making prophetic comment about what will happen when the so-called democracy and capitalism come together, and when they become very porous in their nature. So capitalist expansion and democratization are popularly represented by the magical term development. We all know that, and that is a reality. However, the unbridled development of capitalism is invariably based on overexploitation of natural resources and the consequent impoverishment of tribal people, expansion of middle class, and transformation of the nation into sometimes very skeptically we could say that, and the fear of our nation reduced into a crony capitalist state. And the latest phase of capitalism, namely, that is what we are experiencing now, what you term as techno-capitalism, with its corporate system of organization and highly centralized, top-heavy administration. I think with its the top heavy administration, which is termed as corporatocracy. Corporatocracy signifies maybe the measured death of our freedom. See, this is exactly what happened when India became a colony under British. I think I have stated this earlier, that is in the book called Anarchy. William Dalrymple says that India was colonized only because the Indians willed it to be colonized by the British. And Mahatma Gandhi, in many of his writings, have stated the fact that if not for Indians, India would never have been made a colony under British. So it was the Jagat Seths who, the Jagat Seths, the money lenders in Calcutta, who helped Clive to colonize. They were the main funders, and they were responsible for making India a colony under British. That is history that you can read about. I mean, it is freely available. That book is also very interesting reading. It subverts the entire concept of the colonization of India. So it gives you a different aspect altogether. And Dalrymple has also said that corporations or corporatocracy becomes Frankenstein because they remain unaccountable in its way. There are no moral values attached to this big corporations. Now, that is on one side when we celebrate national integration or the so-called concept of unity. And then let us look at where does nationalism as a narrative now emerge on our cultural landscape. And during and immediately after independence, the idea of India as a nation, what does it mean? I think it means the issues of its people, the challenges that it had to overcome to emerge as a newborn nation state, and a sense of coming together. That was more important, despite our regional differences. That is where you can see the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. You should read about the kind of task he initiated. It was a probable impossibility, and Gandhiji knew that only one man could do this, and he chose Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to do this. There are interesting stories, many interesting stories about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Gandhiji. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel never used to be comfortable with Gandhi. Gandhi took the consolidating India is a fascinating story or a fascinating part of Indian history, which you would find. If you have not read it, please read it. There are fascinating stories about this jingoistic state, warring chieftains, warring small kingdoms and fiefdoms, and how Patel strategically planned and annexed these states and small kingdoms in fiefdoms into the nation as it is. So from jingoism to nationhood was not easy for a country like India. And this particular concept of nationhood or nationalism, in those days, I still remember, those narratives were constructed and disseminated to the public via live speeches by leaders and a burgeoning press and publishing industry. I still remember there was all these leaders, that is when Jawaharlal Nehru came in Kerala, or when any of those leaders came to India, the party workers saw to it they hired the best bilingual translators so that they gave the audience the essence. So, and papers at that time. And there was this song, Hindu Dinamani Indian Express. That was also a song that was a part of our childhood. So papers like Kesari, Hindustan Times, the Hindu, Bengal Gazette, and then of course writers like Tagore, Naidu, Ram Mohan Roy, Premchand, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, just to mention a few, they were all instrumental in giving form to the fledgling narrative of India as a nation. Now, Dilip sir, I would request you to just keep the movie ready, this video clipping ready. Now let us take a look at the movies that were striving to discover and articulate this new identity for India as a promising developing nation. Now the millennial movies and a new empire of hope rising from the ashes of colonial pillaging, backed by an ancient and rich cultural legacy. Let us take a peep. Let us see how the Indian Bollywood movies. Sir, I request you to play the Dilip sir.
Actually, I could not see any play button there. Which slide?
That is there is a dancing picture. Did you see that? That is slide number 6.
This one.
1 second, sir. Yes. Yes.
It is not playing, ma'am.
I think from my side it is. Yeah. I just don't know, like I think it is playing from my side. Let me try to share the screen then. Let me see.
It's a presentation, that's why it's...
No. I have inserted that. Sir, can you share the screen, please? Help me share the screen so that I can play it from my side.
Yes, sure. Just click on that
Yeah.
arrow button.
Let me try, and then if that happens, let it happen. Otherwise, we'll continue with the lecture. No issues. Is that audible now?
Madam, you have to select that audio button when you start select. When you start sharing, at that time there is a button, audio button.
Okay.
Again, stop sharing.
Okay.
Yes, again start sharing.
Okay.
At that time you will see just above that desktop button at the top, there will be button of include computer audio. So,
desktop screen 1. Include audio. Oh, fine,
right.
Fine. Thank you. Now I can share, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, but I thought let us. Can you see this?
Yes. It's audible.
I hope this is a Vatan, this has been with us. Oh my country, always be free. Wherever I am in the world, you are in my memory. So the stars, I just wanted you to understand that this is the kind of course, we feel so energized when you watch these movies in the theater, and you feel that the task of uniting India falls to Indian cinema as the strongest platform to seed this idea of nationhood. So from papers, printed media, now this has been taken to by the Indian movies, especially right down to the grassroots levels of our country. And accordingly, nations with discursively endured development uncritically accept their status exactly as construed by the development discourses. And we know that we need narratives like this because they establish the idea that people ought to overcome developmental challenges. And in India, you know what a Father Justice had already given you an idea about the challenges that we have. The infrastructure facilities, education, poverty, casteism, sectarianism, all these have to be, overlooked or overcome. And we should be patriotic enough to still win for the country despite all of this. This glorification of the glorification of this narrative, in fact, distracts and acclimatizes people to the idea that things may not change so fast, but you should be inspired to succeed in spite of it for the sake of your country, which is definitely true. Instead of focusing your energies on changing the system of fighting for equity, therein lies the trouble. See, we should be there for a nation. We should fight for our nation, our national integration. But at the same time, we cannot remain ignorant about the challenges that are there that the nation is facing at the moment. So now what is happening to our unity? That is a question that are plaguing us. Now, terrorism and insurgencies, as we know, are everyday occurrences. It does create a sense of paranoia in the collective psyche, and that is what responds so well to the nationalism narrative of protectionism and sacrificing life for the nation's security. Attributes like valor, aggression against the enemy for the sake of one's country, outwitting the enemy, these are all things that resonate definitely very deeply within us. And this not only kindles patriotic fervor, but also draws a psychological allegiance to the nation state and conveys a sense of pride in belonging to the nation as we are. But more importantly, it fosters a sense of faith for those in governance and those in charge of the nation's security in real life. Now, the 21st century has been a period of great progress, of course, for India in terms of science, medicine, technology, etc. The narrative of India as once a cradle of knowledge and innovation, now stepping up to reclaim that legacy through its scientific advancement, economic growth, social justice and empowerment, etc., along with the neoliberal policies and open markets have led to globalization and also corporate influence. The only concern is, are we aware of the fatal trap which comes with the rise of transnational imperialism? This is not only true for India, but also for many other countries who are on the path of progress and development, because it dissolves fiercely the debated issues created by problematic governance and instead serves as a new opium for the masses, giving them a beautiful illusion to believe in the distinctiveness of the nation, its culture, heritage, courage, and progress. And as we all know, every human community is formed by shared values. Let us take account of what we assume as right and wrong. This is also decided, as we know, by our common consent. Now, what is happening to our the concept of our unity in diversity? There is economic crisis. Along with that, what I dread is this toxic hatred based on caste. We need to be very cautious at this moment when you celebrate national integration. As responsible citizens, we need to deal with all pervading prejudices of caste, creed, religion, and class that are completely in place in India. As a citizen of India, I'm worried about this hatred and prejudice that we carry. I feel that these are more dangerous than the free virus that we dread now. We are all longing for a return to normalcy. But now, where the spirit of Western nationalism prevails, the whole world is being taught from boyhood to foster hatred and ambition by all kinds of means, by manufacture of half-truths and untruths, not only in history, but in our academic places as well, by persistent misrepresentation of other races and culture, of unfavorable sentiments towards them, and by setting up of memorials, events very often false, which for the sake of humanity should speedily be forgotten, thus continually brewing evil menace towards neighbors, towards one's own people, towards other nations than our own. What I dread is this poisoning. This is poisoning the very fountainhead of humanity. It is discrediting the ideals which were born of the lives of great men like Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru, who were our greatest and best. It is holding up gigantic selfishness as a one universal religion for all nations of the world, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. So it is time to recognize and sensitize our fellow beings about our constitution. See, as teachers or as academicians, how many of us think about our constitution? What I feel is our constitution is the greatest book of compassion. There are the Navaratnas of the constitution that can alone safeguard and preserve the unity of our country. Now, what are the Navaratnas? I will be very brief. Sovereignty. People have supreme right to make decisions on internal as well as external matters. Socialism. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. We should be secular. Citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion. And we are the greatest democratic nation. A form of government where people enjoy equal political rights, elect their rulers and hold them accountable. And the republic, the concept of republic. The head of the state is an elected person and it is not a hereditary position. It cannot be a hereditary position. And then comes the most important of all this, justice. Citizens cannot be discriminated on the grounds of caste, religion, and gender. And it is an inclusive culture that should be prevailing in India. Social inequalities have to be reduced. And then comes liberty. There are no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens in what they think, how they wish to express their thoughts, and so on. And then comes equality and fraternity. All are equal before law. All of us should behave as if we are members of the same family, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam in place. And as I told you, it is absolutely essential that as teachers, as academicians, as responsible citizens, this constitution, what are the rights and privileges, duties, and the essence of constitution should be made a part of legal literacy in our campuses, as well as the teachers, especially when we hold a very responsible position, you should be knowing what are the fundamental rights that are preserved in our constitution. And the essence of our constitution is ahimsa. Ahimsa is not only non-violence, but recognize the capacity or facilitating or empowering our citizens to recognize the suffering of people and to transform it into a compassionate society. And the mission, of course, is welfare of the people and to build a compassionate society. So this is what, in essence, that we as citizens of India should be celebrating when we commemorate the memory of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And now a brief glimpse to our pandemic portal. We are locked down. Locked down we are. We are now passing through the pandemic portal, and we do not know the real contours of the crisis even now. People are still dying. The divide between the poor and the rich becoming more and more obvious, and we may never know their stories. Some believe that it is God's way of bringing justice, God's way of bringing us to our senses. We have fought the famines, British, floods, wars, aggression together as a nation. As Indians, we are proud to say that we emerged victorious. And when you look at our history, it was the victory of ahimsa. People coming together, recognizing their suffering, and historically... Hello?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are you to share the Word file or PPT? Please stick to it, ma'am.
Pardon?
Are you to share your Word file or PPT? Yes, now PPT is being shared. Yes.
Yes?
Yes, now it is okay. Your word was being shared.
Yeah. That is okay now. Is it fine now?
Yes, ma'am. But if you could make it full screen by clicking on, now it is again PPT. Yes. Just near, again it is PPT. Yes. Near your Zoom. Yes, click on that. Yes. Click the same. Yes. Yes, click there.
Okay.
Yes, it is fine now. Yes, it is fine.
It's fine? Yes.
Yes.
So
now it is again back.
This is okay?
I think if sir shares that, it will be okay.
Even if you see my talking points, that is okay. I just want you to look at this particular picture that was shared by J.R.D. Tata. And I would say that if you look deep down into those the small comment that he has written, the distance between this father and his daughter is hunger. So think before you waste food. And when I say that we are passing through the pandemic portal, we come to know that 60% of India, as father pointed out, are below poverty line. And along with the corona angel, the angel that has widened its grip is the hunger angel. I will just take a break, and I would just sort this. Sir, would you please share the screen so that I can continue my talk? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have stopped sharing, so you can. can I continue? I'm winding up. Even if there is no screen, I will just conclude my thoughts. We have come to I just wanted you to see that one particular picture that was posted by JRD Tata. And I was very particular that you should see this. That made a whole lot of, there is so much, a world of meaning that came to me when I saw that particular picture. So shall I continue? So now, as I said, the hunger angel has widened its grip on us. There are two options which I have put in here. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our hatred, our avarice, our data banks and our dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. We can walk through it. The second thing is we have two options. The second option is we can walk through it, fight it using our spiritual strength, which is our greatest legacy. By negating the carcasses of our hatred and prejudices, by accomplishing the concept called nirvana. Nirvana means the state of happiness. How do we achieve this state of happiness? Feeding your mind with positivity and reducing the grasping to oneself. Keep away from that idea of I, me, myself. I did that. I am responsible for this. I, me, myself. That alone can feed the mind with positivity. Another thing that is always recommended by Dalai Lama, His Holiness, is starve the anger. You should starve yourself of anger. S-T-A-R-V-E. If my pronunciation is not clear, starve yourself of anger. And that alone will help you fight fundamentalism. And as I conclude, I hope that I've been able to share my thoughts with you. These are the thoughts I penned down yesterday night as I was sitting and thinking, what am I going to share with my very distinguished audience and academicians from all over India, perhaps. I just want to leave you the message that ahimsa, or the path of non-violence alone, suffices, and that alone will help us keep our nation together. And I quote from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who has given us an ABC of life, that is awareness, belongingness and commitment. Awareness which nurtures intellect, belongingness which nurtures the heart, and commitment which nurtures life. So let us take a vow to safeguard our national unity by adopting the ABCs of life and accepting the path of ahimsa or non-violence. I take this opportunity to thank all of you who helped me with this presentation. There were glitches, of course, but it doesn't matter because I feel very much at home when I am invited to be a part of SFS College. I once again thank Dilip ji, who has been guiding me through the technical, giving me technical guidance, and the glitches and the blunders that I commit. He knows me now very well. Thank you, Dilip ji, for holding my hand and keeping me through this presentation. And Thomas sir, thank you so much for giving me one more opportunity. I wish you all the best, and I wish all the other speakers also all my prayers, wishes. Thank you once again.
It was wonderful to listen to your wisdom, ma'am. Now I have received a few questions from our participants, which I would like to forward to you with your permission.
Yes, yes, of course.
So, ma'am, the first question is this. Do you think a course on nationalism and citizenship should be made compulsory for students in college curriculum? And what will be its learning outcomes?
That's a brilliant question. Actually, I would reword that. See, I would say that legal literacy is which is essential at the moment. See, we cell in our college. It was a part of our research and consultancy cell, and I feel that students should be given an awareness of what are our fundamental rights, what is this book of constitution. And of late, I realize that the awareness of teachers, awareness of women, awareness of most of the academicians are very, very low when it comes to legal literacy. When your rights are threatened, you do not know how to write a complaint. You do not know where to approach. This is a very, I do not know, it is a time when you need that kind of an awareness to fight your battles. Most often I find people fighting their battles alone. And when you are ignorant, especially in these kind of areas, especially if you lack legal literacy, your fight loses its rigor. So I would definitely say that legal literacy campaign is implemented, because it should be interesting as well. In the sense, case studies should be included, hands-on training should be given, and you should get the best advocates of maybe lawyers or activists who have a vast experience in human rights and other things, and that can definitely be considered as a part of curriculum.
And the second question is this, ma'am. How do you see nationalism? How do you see nationalism in our post-truth age?
I should say that that will be a very political statement, if I say. Nationalism is needed, definitely, that, as I said, that should be a part, because you should love your nation. And most of the reforms, most of the transformation happened because we love India. We care for this nation. But we should be cautious. Yes. I think I made it very clear in my lecture that what we should be cautious is a kind of fundamentalism, which I dread. What I dread is the intense kind of hatred and greed. And India is known for its diversity. India has absorbed all cultures and religions like a blotting paper, because it is known as a land of compassion. And this is one quality that should be a part of our nationalism: compassion. And that is why I said, let us starve anger. Our attitude, now you should understand that 64% of our economy is based on agriculture. Father mentioned about farmers. But I would tell you about the farmers, what their mindscape is all about. I had traveled by car through the banks of river. Godavari, and the whole entire district of Telangana. You should see the farmers. Happily they go to till the land. And if you stop the car, they would come and inquire what is, and they will provide you with things. That is the compassion, that is their nature. And they go back home after tilling the land and they sleep peacefully without anything in their mind. And what is their attitude? You know that there are floods, they lose everything. But even then they go back to their land. As and be our attitude. Nothing should shake us. It is based on compassion, and you should remain rooted to the soil. Soil cleanses you. Earthiness is what should be a part of our nationalism. And there is the, perseverance without paucity. That is the farmer. And you should know that Buddhism, the concepts of Buddhism were taken from farming. And this is what I, as an academician, as a human being, as a woman, would exhort. Compassion, ahimsa should be a part of our nationalism. That is what I want for my nation as a truth of India.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nair Madam, for your enlightening talk and valuable words which have definitely encouraged us to put in our best effort to build a glorious India. We all have benefited a lot from this amazing session. So once again, I, Prabhu Prakash, extend my sincere gratitude for being with us today. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Now I request Ms. Shirley Leo to take over from here. Over to you, Ms. Shirley Leo.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Little pools of water tend to become stagnant and useless. But if they are together, form a big pool, and there is universal benefit. This is quoted by none other than Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. A very warm and happy morning to one and all present here. I, Shirley Liu, student of BA second year, take this opportunity to welcome our resource person, Dr. Priyatharsini Rajendran, and each one of you to a special webinar on the occasion of National Unity Day. National unity and potential threats to the unity, integrity, and security of our country. I deem it an honor to introduce an eminent personality as a resource person for today's session. To enlighten us with her words of wisdom, we have with us a versatile and extremely knowledgeable person, Dr. Priyatharsini Rajendran. Dr. Rajendran ma'am is presently working as the Associate Professor and Head, Department of Zoology at Lady Doak College, Madurai. Her academic qualifications include First Class in BSc Zoology, First Class with Special Distinction and Gold Medal in MSc Zoology, First Class with Special Distinction in MPhil. She was awarded PhD in the year 2016. Ma'am has completed a UGC-funded minor research project in the year 2005 to 2007. Ma'am has written and published numerous articles related to zoology. She was also a resource person in several conferences, seminars, and workshops. She has contributed chapters in various books and has authored and edited the same. Dr. Priyatharsini ma'am has to her credit 2 patents filed for her inventions in aquaculture. As a scholar, Rajendran ma'am's thirst for excellence and knowledge is well reflected in her participation in various international academic programs. Ma'am is a member of 2 renowned professional bodies, Worldwide Fund for Nature and Bombay Natural History Society. Ma'am, it's indeed an honor to have a scholar like you amongst us, and to hear you speak is really a blessing. So without much ado, I would now like to request you to share your thoughts with us. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shirley, for the nice introduction. And I wish to thank Principal Professor Thomas and Father Justice Paul and Dr. Latha Nair for setting the tone for today's program. I'm indeed very happy and privileged for having got this opportunity to share my thoughts on this special occasion. So thank you, Ms. Shirley, for introducing me. Thank you very much. So start sharing my presentation. Are you able to hear me and see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Yeah, okay. So, unity, whenever we talk about this special day, when we remember Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, for me, it would be always related to history lesson, which I learned in my school. So, many of us think about unity with relevance to nationalism, national unity, national integration, and it is also a thought that